I'm out here contemplating the difference between the material way, the ego circuit as a foundation for business compared to BG5 as a foundation for business. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. And the reason why is because I've had a lot of questions about this. And whenever I get a lot of questions in my community, usually I know that's the time to contemplate. I think the question really is, what can we use from our human design chart that helps us grow, sustain, and thrive in business? And I'm going to talk from my personal journey, my personal experience, and from working with my clients. So what I've noticed is that most human design teachers do not know BG5. And when they don't know BG5, they rely on type, and they rely on the material way or the ego circuit as a foundation and an understanding of what's going to make successful business. So I'm going to have to share that BG5 was a huge foundation for me, and I teach all of my certification students BG5 when they get to level 4, and I integrate it throughout all of the teachings because when I first came to human design, both of my teachers that I was certified with did not teach BG5. And the information that was told to me about human design, not including BG5, missed some very key components. And I'm going to share with you these key components now. I hope you're enjoying this video. I want to share with you an upcoming masterclass we have for the community. It's all based on the 64 gates. The masterclass is sharing with you what this journey is, why understanding the depth of the I Ching, why understanding how it correlates to your DNA, how it correlates to your life is so important for your business, for your clients, for your family, whatever you do, whatever job. If you're a mom, if you're an accountant, if you are working in energy, if you're a healer, all of these areas, where you are in life, it meets you where you are and allows you to serve your community, your company, your family in new ways by understanding the depth of the code and how this code is operating within your own system. It changes the dynamics of how you operate your entire life, no matter where you are. So I hope you join us. This is a great deal. It's a flash sale. And if you purchase this after the fact, no worries, we'll send you the replay. It will be a very powerful journey. Can't wait to see you now. I absolutely think that if you know your inner authority and your strategy, you can somewhat be successful. If you are willing to learn business, you see, you have to know business skills in order to know business. It's just, think about it for a minute. If you're invited to speak online and run an online business, but you don't know anything about running an online business, you don't know how the platforms work, you don't know anything about the algorithms, you don't know anything about how to do email marketing, you can't run an online business. There are factors you need to learn in order to create a business that works. I'm a natural worker and I'm a natural researcher, so I have researched everything around online business, and I have worked really hard to have a successful online business. And it wasn't just learning my human design, but I had to know everything about my human design in order to have success. And believe me, I tried before and nothing worked for me. Knowing that I was a projector was hugely a big important key, but not just for the energy level. Also, I based everything in my business on recognition. So some people say, you know, you should start working on your business right away and build all the things and then you'll get the recognition. For me, that's sort of true and sort of not true. And I'll tell you why. When I was trying to figure out how to leave corporate America, I tried a lot of businesses and I experimented and failed incredibly. I did not know I was a projector. Once I learned about human design, I had a drive and a passion to study because it made so much sense. And I studied and studied and studied and studied, but for some reason I still had this belief that I needed to do spiritual business because that's my background and I'm really good at business, and I wanted to teach business, and it seemed smarter to teach business. But every question, and so I built a huge platform based on me as a spiritual entrepreneur, and which is still a part of my brand. But what I didn't realize at the time was nothing would work unless I was asked questions by my community, which I consider that to be recognition. When the questions came, I followed that thread, but it took me quite a long time before I was brave enough to do that. And when the questions came and I leaned into the questions as my business model, my business began to take off. And nothing really put everything in place until I came to BG5. BG5 is a totally different foundation that Ra brought forward right before he died about the human design business model. Now, the human design business model in BG5 has nothing to do with the material way. It has nothing to do with the 5432. Does the 2644 come into BG5? Yes. Does the 4521 come in? Yes. They come in terms of the WA, the OC16, which is the organizing element of large businesses. Now, what BG5 does is it distinguishes a lot of other pieces in the chart that most human design teachers don't understand. If you're just using the material way as a guide, what you're missing is that the tribal circuitry within the material way, because it's the ego circuit, it's tribal ego circuitry, is dissolving over the next 2027. The tribal energy of business is not the foundational energy of business anymore, because the global epoch is shifting. And what it's moving into is more of the individual expression of who we are. And so the foundation of BG5 is all about the Penta, and the Penta is led by the 214, which you wouldn't consider the 214 as part of business unless you know BG5, and you really have to know it to understand business. The 214 is the foundation for every business. Not that you have to have it, but you need it in your surroundings, and you need to know if you're designed for solopreneurship, partnership. So the Penta begins in the 214 for both the Penta and the WA. What that means is that there's this distinction between a small business model and a large business model. These distinctions help you so much. It's not to say, oh, if you're this type, you're going to run your business in this way. That is not what it's saying. It's saying there are dimensions in your chart that need to be acknowledged in the world of business that most people who are just looking at human design do not see. So it's additional information that may really change things for you, including the definition. So single, split, triple, quadruple split, that makes a big difference. The other thing is that the projector is here to be the leader in the Penta. And that's the sad part that nobody mentions when you're just talking human design and the material way. You don't hear, oh, projectors, not only are they designed for business, they're designed to be the alphas of every business. Nobody wants to hear that if they're not a projector, because projectors are seen as sort of the victims in business of like, oh, the poor projector, they can't really keep up. Not true, not true. It's the leader of the Penta. Definition tells you what type of business you will thrive in. Of course, you have to first respond and first follow your strategy and your inner authority as the guideline. But this is why Davidian and I started partnering, because he's designed for partnership because he's a split definition, and I'm designed for partnership because I'm a projector. Projectors aren't really here to do it on their own. We are here to collaborate. And so the point is that BG5 gives you a foundation for business that is missed in every other human design business teachings that are out there. And if you don't integrate business teachings into your human design, it's going to be hard to run your own business. Now, running a business is a spiritual path, and it's challenging and intense, and it takes a lot of wisdom, awareness, courage, transformation, inner development, personal development. All of these pieces play in to success in business. And I'm so grateful to have a successful business, but it has come through hard studying the BG5 piece and through business skills and business operations. And this is a lot of what I'm teaching in my mastermind. It's an incredible group. It's a high-end, high-touch mastermind group, and I only open one spot like every couple months. And so if that's something you're curious, you really want to know the difference, and you really want to integrate, reach out to me. The difference between the material way and BG5. Okay, let me go back to that for a second. The difference is that BG5 is designed for business. If you are using pieces of human design, your type, the material way, the ego circuit, how you're designed to operate, your profile, all these things are going to help you in business, but nothing provides you with a map like BG5. BG5 is going to give you dimensions and pieces of small businesses, large businesses, how do they operate, far beyond just the basics that most human design teachers are looking at. And so knowing BG5 is a huge, powerful additional tool that will help you run your business. So BG5 is a foundation through the Penta. You have to understand the dynamics of the Penta. The Penta is going to change us in 2027. It's part of the Ra's prophecy, which I really believe is actually the truth. When you are looking at the Penta, and he's saying that the Penta is going to become conscious come 2027, the way I see the conscious Penta is about the collective consciousness becoming more aware of the other, meaning that when you are conscious of group dynamics, you transform the group. And so a conscious Penta, right now the Penta is unconscious. They cannot understand that in a group dynamic that it is operating to conquer the material plane, and all Pentas are homogenizing. So that means there's a natural force on the planet when you're in a group of 3 or more people that it is an energy that is homogenizing. So you are being forced in the group to act like other people in the group. When you have a conscious Penta, the energy is to self-actualize within a group. The energy is to become self-aware within a group. The energy is far beyond the awareness that we have right now when we're in group think, group mind, tribal warfare. All of those energies are about the conditioning elements of the group that make us look like the other, want to be like the other, speak like the other, and make us want to fit in business, which is less innovation and trying to. Oftentimes in business right now, when you're talking about an unconscious Penta, you just fill in the gaps. You do what you're told. You take the energy and you just move forward with it. So if you've ever been in a corporation, they just stick with what worked in the past and they churn it out. They do it over and over and over again. Think McDonald's. Oh, this is the burger that works. We better do it over and over and over again. And what we do is we conquer the material plane, and we don't look at how it's hurting not only the buyer, but hurting all of the employees that have to sacrifice their well-being to work for pennies to create this massive wealth for, a small percentage of the leaders in McDonald's. That energy is going away, and there's going to be a consciousness in business, but you need to understand the BG5. You can't just write it off as BS. It's not. It's powerful, and if you're not doing well in your business, that might be the reason you don't have all the pieces. If you love human design but you need more, that might be part of the dimension. I also think there's a lot to play in the mental piece and the mindset and the tools of manifestation, which is learning how to visualize, learning how to meditate, learning how to clear belief systems and habitual patterns that you've had those types of energies really help to align to success in business. But it's a complicated thing, and there's not one answer. And for sure, the more you learn, the more you know, the better you are. And to say that there is one dimension in human design business is to miss out on a piece that might be the missing piece in your puzzle, which is BG5 was for me. I did not understand that I was a leader, and I didn't understand I had CEO energy, which is the WA shows you who has CEO energy. And when you're in a large group, you thrive when you have CEO channels. This gave me courage, it gave me strength, it helped me open up to know that I was born to run a large company. And also learning as a projector that you are the alpha helped me. The single definition and how it works with the split definitions, all of these pieces are not explained in human design. They're explained in BG5. So BG5 adds a dimension that you cannot get just by looking at the material plane.